Have you ever looked at your bank account and thought, it's impossible that to start something or anything, you need a trust fund, a lucky break, or to risk everything you have? You're not alone. But what if I told you that exact thought is the number one thing holding you back? Not the money, the story you tell yourself about the money. I've launched, failed, and scaled more businesses than I can count. And I didn't start with venture capital. I started with less than what most people spend on a weekend. You are watching Focused Mindset. Hit that subscribe button. Let's begin. So let's change the story. Let me show you step by step, data point by data point, exactly what's possible. Not with vague inspiration, with a map. We're going to talk about three specific amounts of money: $500, 1,000, 5,000. And for each one, I'm going to give you a real launch this week business plan. But first, we have to break the walls in your head. So let's start with the biggest question of all, the who am I question. Who am I to start a business? I don't have an MBA. I'm not a genius. I'm just me. You think entrepreneurship is for a certain type of person: the charismatic salesperson, the tech whiz, the person with a giant network. And since you don't see yourself in that picture, you hit pause before you even start. Here's the counterpoint: that's a complete myth. A study from the Journal of Business Venturing found that prior business knowledge is a far weaker predictor of startup survival than something much simpler: action orientation, the willingness to just do the next thing. Think of it like this: you don't need to be a master chef to follow a recipe. You just need to be able to read, measure, and stir. Business, especially at the beginning, is a recipe. I'm about to give you the recipe. The who is irrelevant. The do is everything. Which brings us to question two, the idea killer. But won't I just be a drop in the ocean? Everything's already been done. The market is oversaturated. You have an idea. You get a rush of excitement. You Google it. You see 10 other companies doing it too. Your heart sinks. You close the tab. Sound familiar? This is where amateurs quit and where professionals get excited. You seeing competition isn't a stop sign. It's a giant flashing validation sign written in neon. Someone else has already spent their time and money proving people want this. They've done the hard part. My strategy? I call it starting on third base. You don't need to hit a home run from the plate. You find someone who's already on third base, a business that's working, and you learn exactly how they got there. Tools like the Wayback Machine let you see their first terrible website. SimilarWeb shows you their traffic sources. You reverse engineer their success. The global consumer market is worth over $60 trillion. Believing your tiny slice can't exist is like believing you can't get a glass of water because you're standing next to the ocean. The abundance is the entire point. Okay, so maybe you're willing to try, which leads to the third most dangerous question. But what if I'm not passionate about it? We've been sold a lie. The lie is follow your passion and the money will come. It's terrible, backwards advice for 99% of people starting out. Your passion at the beginning should be one thing: commerce. The simple, addictive thrill of turning $1 into two, of creating value where there was none. Passion is the wind in your sails, but if you have no boat, no hull, no rudder, just sails, you're just a kite. You'll flap wildly and crash. The business model is the boat. Build the boat first. A 2021 study out of Stanford found that passion can actually lead to poorer business decisions: overinvestment in pet features, refusal to pivot. The most successful founders cultivated passion for the problem they were solving, not just the topic. So ignore the topic, follow the profit. Use the profit to build the freedom to follow your passion later. That's the real sequence. Now the mental walls are down. Let's build something. Let's start with the smallest, most powerful amount: $500. The AI Implementation Agency. You think $500 is for buying things: inventory, software, ads. You see it as fuel for a product. I want you to see it as fuel for a skill that becomes a product. You become an AI implementation specialist for small businesses. There are over 400 million small businesses worldwide. A survey by Small Business Trends found that 77% believe AI would significantly improve their operations, yet less than 5% are using it in any meaningful way. There's a massive knowledge and execution gap. They're busy running their shop. They don't have time to learn Chat GPT prompts or AI agents. You will be their bridge. You might be thinking how to start. Don't be a coder. Be a vibe coder. Use no-code AI app builders like Bubble, Softer, or numerous new platforms. Spend a weekend building mock apps. Build me an app that manages customer appointments for a dog groomer. Watch it come to life. Your $100 is for a couple of premium tutorials and maybe a month of a premium tool. Use the same tools. Build a one-page website, a headline. I save local businesses time and money with AI. List of 3 or 4 services: AI phone agent, customer email triage, social media content engine, a section for case study. This is your war chest. You run hyper-local Facebook or Instagram ads. Target business owners in your city or a city you choose. Add copy. Tired of missing after-hours calls? I build AI receptionists for local businesses. First discovery call is free. Your entire $400 goes here. At even a relatively high cost per click of $2, that's 200 clicks from local business owners. You get on calls, you listen. What eats up your time? Is it customer queries, scheduling, invoicing? You say, I can build a system to handle 80% of that for you. One-time setup fee, $1,500. Then $300 a month to maintain and update it. You are not selling AI, a scary buzzword. You are selling more evenings with your family or fewer missed $3,000 jobs. You are selling an outcome. But I don't know AI. Neither did they. You're one weekend ahead. That's all that expertise you need to start. Now, let's move on to the $1,000 blueprint, the hyperlocal media empire. Okay, but what if I hate sales? What if I don't want to be on client calls? Great question. This proves you're thinking like an entrepreneur, playing to your strengths. So let's build an asset, not a service. An asset that runs while you sleep. What's the business? A hyper-local email newsletter and digital community. People are starving for local connection. While 86% of Americans get news from digital devices, trust in national media is at record lows. Trust in local information, however, remains high. A Reuters Institute study shows people feel local news is more relevant and trustworthy. Yet local newspapers are dying. This creates a vacuum. You're not building a newspaper, you're building the town square. You're not the speaker on the podium, you're the one who, hypothetically, owns the park, rents out the spaces, and makes sure the conversations happen. Use a free tier from Beehive or Substack. Name it the XYZ Times or XYZ Niche, the Austin Eater Weekly, the Boise Outdoor Report. You are the curator, not the creator. Your first 10 issues are 5 new restaurants opening downtown, City Council vote on park renovation this Tuesday, Spotlight, local plumber who fixes pipes in under an hour, weekend event roundup. You compile this from other local news, Facebook groups, and press releases. You write short, helpful blurbs. Your entire budget goes to meta ads. You run a sign-up campaign. Ad creative? A cool graphic saying, what's happening in town this week? Find out in 5 minutes, free. You target people within a 10-mile radius. Cost per click can be as low as $1. With $1,000, you acquire 1,000 subscribers. Now you own attention. A local real estate agent, a restaurant, a gym wants that attention. A sponsored section in your email. This week's newsletter is brought to you by Joe's Garage, your trusted local mechanic. You charge a cost per mil. For 1,000 subscribers, that's $25 per email. Send 2 sponsored emails a week. For the local business directory section of your website, charge $50 per month for a premium listing. A newsletter with 1,000 engaged subscribers can easily generate $1,000 to $2,000 per month. Your $1,000 investment pays back in month 1. You're building a digital asset, a list. It's like buying a piece of property in your town's main street. The value compounds as the town grows and as your list grows. With that being said, let's move on to the $5,000 blueprint, the asset-backed operator. Hit that like button if you are liking it so far. So, this is great, but it's still active income. I'm trading my time. What about real, true passive income? the kind that builds wealth. Perfect. Now we're moving from income to assets. With $5,000, you're not just starting a business, you're making a down payment on a system that owns itself. Acquiring a small cash-flowing physical asset with seller financing. Our example, a small RV park or self-storage. 10,000 baby boomers retire every single day in the US alone. Many own small, manageable lifestyle businesses or properties they want to exit. They often prefer a smooth, hands-off transition over a top-dollar sale. This is called the silver tsunami, and it's the biggest transfer of assets in history. You can ride this wave. You're not buying a property, you're buying a machine. The land and the pads are the machine. The rent is the cash it prints. Your $5,000 isn't to buy the machine, it's for the toolkit to fix it, oil it, and turn up the printing speed. You look on LoopNet, Craigslist, even drive around. You find a tired-looking 10-pad RV park on the outskirts of town, listed for $200,000. It's half empty. The website is from 2005. You call the 70-year-old owner, Bob. You say, "Bob, I see your listing. I have a proposal. I don't have $200,000, but I have energy, a digital marketing skill set, and $5,000 for immediate improvements. What if I took over the park? I'll sign a contract to pay you $2,000 a month from the profits. That's your steady retirement income. I'll use my skills and this cash to fill the empty pads. If I fail to pay you for 90 days, you get the park back, plus any improvements I've made. You have zero risk. Your $5,000 pays for a new simple website, professional photos, listing on RV camping sites, a fresh coat of paint and sign, and your first few months of utility bills while you fill up. You increase occupancy from 50% to 95%. You raise rents slightly to market rate. The park's net operating income jumps from $24,000 a year to $60,000 a year. Suddenly, based on standard commercial real estate math, a 10% cap rate, the park is worth $600,000. You own it subject to your small payment to Bob. You have built $400,000 in equity with $5,000 of your own money. This is sweaty equity meets financial engineering. You're trading your sweat and skill for ownership, using the seller's own asset as the collateral. It's the ultimate leverage. So let's loop back to the very first question. Who am I to start? You are a problem solver with a $500 toolkit, a community builder with a $1,000 ad budget, an asset operator with a $5,000 key. The amount is almost irrelevant. The blueprint is everything. The willingness to move from what if to what's next is the only real currency that matters. Your homework isn't to overthink it, it's to pick one, the one that made your brain click, and do the first step on the recipe, just the first one. Because in the end, the business isn't built in the grand plan, it's built in the next single, obvious action. Take it. The only wrong move is not moving. What was your favorite part of the video? And I am curious, which amounts of money, $500, $1,000, $5,000, are you going to start with? Drop a comment. Thanks for watching.